now turn over to F5, who recently unveiled a joint SaaS solution with Microsoft called NGINX for Azure, built to solve the challenges that arise when deploying and operating apps in the cloud, migrating from on-prem, and so much more. Here to tell us about NGINX for Azure is F5 Vice President of Product Management and Commercial Strategy, Eric Braun. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Leslie, how are you?
I'm doing great. I hope you're doing awesome as well.
I am. Great to see you.
Great. So just right off the bat, what is SaaS? Why is it useful? And what is NGINX? And what are some of the challenges that developers can face when working with that led to your team creating NGINX for Azure?
Yeah, sure. So, SaaS, as I think we all know, is software as a service and it's just software that's accessed online via subscription versus software that you would buy and install on an individual computer or server. The general value of SaaS is around, there's zero installation, so it means a much faster time to the benefit. There's no operational overhead associated with lifecycle management, so doing things like patches and updates, that all goes away. And then the pay-as-you-go or consumption model, so you only pay for what you use, is often appealing. As far as NGINX is the wildly popular, is at its core, it's the wildly popular open source software that powers hundreds of millions of web applications. You can configure NGINX to do many different things. So it could be a web server, a reverse proxy, a load balancer, an API gateway, and more. For this particular, for the first version of NGINX for Azure, we've really focused on the layer 7 load balancing use case, but we're working hard to expand that to many of the other use cases as well. As far as developer challenges in general, there's a steep learning curve that comes along with standing up and operating applications, and not being able to always leverage the software that you've grown to really deeply understand and love can cause some challenges, and those are primarily around just consistency and ease of use. So if you've ever sat with a group of cloud architects that are mapping out an architecture or mapping out services, trying to match up SLA and performance and matching visibility and operational components, that can be really challenging. And that can be disappointing for developers, particularly in a time when everyone talks about shifting left, so trying to empower developers to take on more of an operational role. That can be sort of deflating. So those are a lot of the challenges that we're looking to address.
Awesome. And I love hearing about how you can get closer to being more productive with things just as like having no install require, as you mentioned earlier too. So ultimately, why should people use NGINX on Azure versus other platforms?
Well, so we do, NGINX is in all the major marketplaces, but this NGINX for Azure is very unique. It is the only cloud where you can get this native experience. So there are lots of benefits that come with that, but to name a few, you can literally add NGINX to your subscription and have it installed in just a few clicks, and then you're just straight into the configuration. A big benefit is what we call BYOC, or bring your own configuration. Companies and development teams literally they invest a lot of time and resources in coming up with their very specific configurations of NGINX. This allows them to literally bring those to NGINX for Azure and just drop them into the configuration and just get going. Another big benefit is a native integration with a lot of the core Azure services. So Azure Key Vault, so you have that sort of centralized place for all your SSL TLS automation and security keys and passwords. The Active Directory, so all the critical information about your environment. You have Azure DevOps, which does a lot of things from version controls to automated builds. You have GitHub Actions, so you can integrate this into your CI/CD automation and all of those workflows. And then Azure Monitor is also a big one for operations. We also offer some advanced security and traffic management features. And then I think the last one is you can buy NGINX for Azure via the marketplace and buy down your Mac commitment, your Microsoft Azure consumption commitment with that as well.
Awesome. And I have one more question for you. I hear you've already got some customer success stories, so can you quickly share a little about that?
Yeah, very quickly. So yeah, we're really excited. We've had one of our customers, Causeway Capital Management, has been with us throughout the private preview. They've been around for a couple decades. They manage 44 billion in assets worldwide. Pete Peterson, their CTO, CISO, has been working closely with us. All the benefits that I just went over in terms of reusing configurations, consistency and security and performance, and that complete end-to-end visibility are benefits that they're getting out of this service.
That is exciting. And I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear more. So where can people quickly go to learn more about what's going on with NGINX?
Yeah, so they just visit the Azure Marketplace at aka.ms/F5 NGINX, they can just add to their subscription and jump in.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Leslie. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, so you can join the live breakout on day 2 discussing NGINX for Azure to learn more. So visit F5 and the featured partner showcase for details.